So this is what's been going on, which has been confusing me with Cubase. What's been going on here? We have audio 1, audio 2, and there's a MIDI channel there. Let's have a look. Audio 1, you'll see it says there left stereo in, and audio 2 says right stereo in. Well, that's kind of nonsense, really, because if you're going to bring up a mixer, look, it's all just a mess. Look, it's all just a mess. I can't actually control. You can see there in the stereo in channel, because the stereo in, it's ridiculous. The keyboard is coming out there, and the audio, there's me speaking to the mic, and if I adjust that level, it's going to adjust both of these, the levels of these coming in. So we don't want that. So what we've got to do, this is what I've done wrong. And this will be saved as, look, default CPR. That's the DOS extension for Cubase. So look, it does my head in. So this is what you've got to do, right? You've got to go into devices, and down into VST, which stands for Virtual Studio Technology, VST connections, and get rid of all this nonsense. The little stereo speaker there, by the way, is the default. That's for, and I'll just jump out there for a second. Down there, you'll see it says audio activity default input channel. Well, have a look. When I talk on the mic, yes, you can see a bar. Don't ask me why Cubase have done this. When I talk, because that microphone is set as the default input, channel, you get a reading with some clipping going on there. You get a reading. But look, on the keyboard, which is set up on the other channel, the yellow lead there, the yellow 6.5mm lead, when I well, they're both doing it because I've got stereo coming in, which is really stupid. The whole thing's confusing, but just have a look at this for a second. Look, let's change it. I do find this confusing. I'm going to be honest with you. I find this very confusing. I find this totally confusing. What I'm going to do is device, VST connections. I'm just going to dump all this for a second. Delete that bus. I actually deleted all buses. Now we're going to add a bus, but this time we're not going to add it. We're not going to add a stereo bus. We're going to add a mono bus, and that means it's the default. And then I'm going to add a second bus, a second mono bus. Bang! We've got two mono buses there. This will be very different now. If I click on here, that'll bring up the stuff there. So audio 1, I click on the bus and I make that input. I think it stands for input 1, but it just calls it input. Number 2, I'm going to make it mono input 2. So 1 is mono input 1, 2 is mono input 2. This is exhausting. As you can see now, the microphone is triggering is now the default, and the keyboard, I'll get that cursor out the way, the keyboard actually has no effect. It's only got an effect there because I'm talking. Now the beauty of doing it this way now is, let's say we were running a recording. That's me talking. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's the keyboard there on the bottom one. But the beauty is now, if I bring in a mixer, can you see how the mixer's changed? I'm going to spread that out so we can see the second mono input. Some clipping. mixes change, which gives me the ability to adjust the level of that's the audio, the microphone I should say. I can adjust that. Look, I can drop that right down. Now the microphone's hardly doing anything. You can see on the level indicator. We'll bring it right up like that. And over here, this one here is the keyboard, which I can also separately adjust its level without affecting the microphone input level. So I was going to stop that for a second. 1, 2, 3, just testing. I'll stop recording in a minute. And what we're going to do is we're going to select all this here, Control A, delete. Oh yeah, let's just make sure that MIDI's working before we do anything. Look, here's MIDI. We should get a MIDI signal. There you go, that's coming from the Korg. Alright, so they're all working there. So let's go Control A, delete all the channels. Go back over here. It's a long recording, I know. And now we're gonna we got mono in, we got mono in 2, and we got the grand or the MIDI channel. And now we're gonna go File, Save As, and we're gonna save this as our default name. I might just put in there. It's so confusing. This stuff's so confusing. Seriously, I'm gonna call this Far Out. Do it again. I'm gonna go File, Save As. We're going to save that as default new. It's confusing, I know. And I'm going to go save. I'll go File, Open, Default. I'm going to activate, sure. Come on. Painful. So there's all that rubbish going on with stereo, and that's the original default.cpr. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that as, save that one as 10. I know, what the hell am I doing? Save that one as 10. Yeah, save it as 10. And then we're going to go File, Open, the one called New. Open it up. Of course it'll say, do you want to activate it? Or some crap like that. I don't know what it's doing. It's just having a big hiccup now. It's just not happy, is it? Jump out of there. It's a bloody pain, really. This video, I can save this video and take it off this telephone because it's going to destroy my data. Open up Cubase 5. Painful bloody thing, really. Cubase 5 is a pain. I should pause that for a second. I won't bother. There it is, and then let's open up the default project and all that crap. And then we're going to go File, Open, the one called New. Open it. Oh yeah, activate it. This is the one we just set up. We're going to save this as a default. At least we find out one bug there. Yeah, and I'm going to go File, Save As, default.cpr. I think it'll ask me if I want to replace it, and I go yes. Great, that'll do. As far as I've worked out, that's finished it. From now on, it should open up like this in mono inputs.